shortly. I hope everybody is ready for this race.
Yep, and here we go.
Somehow I don't believe the uncle. We have a piece of heart in Link's house.
Early map check, green on desert, and then 1 and 4 in Hera and Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what Uncle has for us today in just a second.
And it's Kane of Samaria, which, lends some credence to that whole bow and turtle rock situation.
Yeah, it definitely does. Who knows?
There's 10 arrows, which, would be nice if we had a bow.
Who knows? Maybe it's one of those things in Zelda's chest.
All right, so we're going to head down into the escape proper. We've got some guards we got to kill to get some keys, open some doors, and other than that, we've got 3 chests which can contain any sort of things.
Yep, pretty good chance you'll find a key in one of these 3 chests, but if not, I'll be that first chest in the sewers.
Ice rod! Oh man, let me tell you something. That is the first thing I want to see. No joke.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we're gonna find it, then I want to find it early, but we don't have a Dark World map check, but that Turtle Rock's gonna be a pendant now.
Maybe. Even if it isn't, Trinix is gonna. Even if it is, Trinix is probably still gonna be required. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, of course.
We got a +5 arrow upgrade, so nothing to write home about just yet there. Ice rod is still just, miles ahead of what we've currently seen so far.
Yeah, it's not a progression item by itself, and really it's only useful for Trinex, but at the same time, you're never going to complain about finding it as your, 3rd, 4th item?
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we're gonna make our way over to Zelda's cell, likely using some pot strats, just because the cane block is a little finicky. And we find the small key, which we're guaranteed to find, so now the possibilities for the Dark Escape chest are a little more open-ended.
Yeah, and right now, Gonzspor did get his bomb drop as well. Dynasty is still looking for one.
All right. So both of our runners now moving out of escape. There's a little bit of subtle movement tech you can do here to kind of increase your speed, but otherwise it's a pretty straightforward route.
Yeah, both runners making a really good time through it, though.
Dynasty attempting to get some more bombs with a pot toss there, not quite pulling it out.
Yeah, I think he's like 1 kill from the green longsword with their prize pack, because that's what Gonzspor got it off of, but I think he killed 1 more than Dynasty at this point.
Or either that, or you just the RNG was not with you, because the number of kills is not necessarily what matters. It's the order in which the drops happen, and then you just get a random whether it drops something or not.
Yeah.
Dynasty did not spend a whole lot of time dealing with the snakes in the previous room. We may see some farming of bombs in the later rooms here. The rats are a little easier to kill.
Yeah, especially with Samaria, and looks like he's going to.
There's actually like a metric ton of rats above you in that room he's just in. So if you're looking for a few more targets to farm, that's one place to go. But for the most part, you don't really want to overdo it. There's a bomb and another.
Yep, 2 bombs. Probably starting to get a little worried because that was the last chance he had.
There's a piece of heart, bombs, and plus 10 arrow upgrade. So at least you get a refund on some of those bombs.
Yeah, the nice thing is getting the refund on the bombs, that gives them enough for Kakariko without having to go buy any. At the very least, they can do it when they leave if they don't find enough.
But if you're going to rely on drops and stuff, you really want to make sure that you still have bombs when you move on to other locations. So, like, I don't know, don't try to go to Mini Moldorm Cave with no bombs. I don't know anyone who's ever done that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm sure somebody's done it at some point in time, but not that I can remember. It's random, and as many seeds that gets run every day, I'm sure somebody's made the mistake at some point in time.
I don't know if the implication was obvious, but I literally did that this afternoon.
Seeing we would have never known. Alright, getting the lumberjack, let's check.
Red boomerang, so not really the sort of thing you're interested in wasting your time trying to pick up.
Yeah, which Gonzspor is actually probably happy about, because that is the item that he actually does not want to see in any siege, the magical boomerang. So he saw it, but he's never going to pick it up.
And there is a red rupee as well on the mushroom location. Gonzspor actually taking a death in the Lost Woods.
Yeah, I think it was only at a heart or a half a heart, and that crow just tagged him.
And this would have helped with the whole additional heart in the thieves' hideout.
Yeah, fortunately not too much of a time loss, just a little bit.
And we move on to Kakariko Village, home of plenty of chests. Blind's Hut will be our first stop. 5 chests inside. We'll see what we get.
Yeah, probably hoping to see some kind of rupees. So we've been really short on the rupees so far this seed.
Ooh, we got a hook shot.
Yeah, so that's something important.
Big old 20. A bow.
Okay.
So much for Turtle Rock bow.
I'm sorry, Dynasty, your prediction is failed.
Womp womp. Getting a little more money here in the back of Blind's Hut. There's another 20 rupees in the well, so he should be able to scrounge up enough money to purchase the bottle vendor's item. That's 100 rupees for those of you who are uninitiated. There's another 50, which will make the purchase of additional bombs possible if necessary.
Yep, and that's probably the biggest thing right there is those extra bombs, because you're going to leave with 2 at this point.
Ooh, and there's a shuffle, so When you pick up the shovel in Kakariko Village, it's nice to sort of remember that you did so that you can check that dig location while it's convenient.
Oh.
Very important to get those 100 rupees.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no to a hammer.
Yeah, I believe if you tried to say no to a hammer, it would respond with, abrasive force.
Yeah, and it would also tell you just don't want to complete this sea today, do you?
There is that. So no bottles yet, so we will not be checking the sick kid. That's something they'll want to keep in mind for later. Take a look inside the library for an item which we will need the boots to get. Oh, it's a sword. You kind of want that.
Yeah, that might be something they come back for, even if it's, they've got the Master Sword. The time spent, if you have Flute, isn't that much. We'll save, not having to do a Master Sword Ganon.
There's a +5 arrow upgrade on the race game. I expect Gonzspor to buy some bombs here, and he does. And Dynasty is going to go dig something up.
Yeah, and he opted not to buy bombs, so as far as the locations that are open that need bombs, he's short a little bit currently.
Oh, that's a glove.
Yeah.
We are a pearl away from Dark World access here.
Yeah, only one item, and we're only 12 minutes in, so... With one of those swords being on the library, you have to think, more than likely, we're not seeing Aga 1 this seed.
Does seem unlikely at the moment. So Dynasty is now going to head down toward the South Shore area. This is a fairly standard second play.
And Gonzspor is going to do a blind check on the race game.
Unfortunately, that's not going to work out, but that's not a huge deal. One thing Dynasty could have done here is use that hook shot he picked up to make this dam trip a little faster.
Yep, just going to nope out of the race game after seeing that and go to the dig location, pick up his gloves.
Yeah, the gloves being here is a huge... Oh, there's a flute.
That's a major thing, too.
So... Dark World? I mean, not Death Mountain?
Yeah, because that opens everything on Death Mountain, with the exception of Old Man and potentially Hera if they need a fire source to get through it.
And, I guess theoretically Spike Cave.
Yes, and then if we want to go there, Ether Tablet as well.
Right, but Paradox Cave is open, and that's the important part. There's 7 chests in there, and it's just like, come get the chests. There's a mirror. That's another Death Mountain thing.
Okay, now as a runner, I'm either like really happy or I'm going to start to get really afraid because the seed's just like, here, have everything at the beginning. You're going to think, what's going to be that one item that's just going to be hiding somewhere that's just silly.
So what Dynasty's doing here is he's not going to bother going to Ice Rod Cave just yet because, I mean, you figure you've got the flute. You can just go to the flute, activate the flute, and if you really want to go back to Ice Rod Cave, you can just flute back to 8, and it's a little faster.
Yeah, not really losing any time with the decision he's making. Probably actually neutral, because he was there, he could have went, but he's going to need to come activate the flute anyways.
And to be honest, I think I would probably just peace out and head for the mountain.
Yeah, I would probably check the mountain before thinking that.
And with these runners at the records they're at, I would expect I would expect them to be fairly comfortable with a dark room old man situation if they want to rescue the old man.
Yeah, definitely at least some of the more basic dark rooms. You know, maybe not something like Mire Dark Room, you know, Pod Dark Rooms, at least Pod Basement, because that one's just terrible if you don't have a fire rod. But
And Dynasty is just going to go for Ice Rod Cave, which is fine. That's a perfectly valid turn of events.
and Gonzspor is going to make the long walk to it.
I mean, you're going to have to go activate that flute at some point. I mean, unless Mire is a pendant, and even then, you might want to go there to check some things.
Yeah, but Dynasty is going to flute, and you've got to imagine he's going to Death Mountain right now.
No, he's going to go check Gina's cave. It looks like he is pretty dead set on, wow.
Okay.
Never mind.
Well, we know EGA 1 isn't required at this point. So we either need a book or the mitts right now.
Well, I was going to say, what if one of those is on the pyramid?
That is true. The one of those could be there. And that would just be rough for the runners, just to see it and know it's there and realize you have to go to egg anyways.
We've got a lot of items before that becomes a reality.
Yeah, we either need to find 2 swords and the lamp, or sword, cape, and the lamp still, so long ways away from that.
Moving to 3 here. Interesting.
He doesn't have any bombs.
Good call. Good call. I would have completely not noticed if I was doing this.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's like, why is he fluting a 3? It's like he didn't pick up a bottle. He can't go to the Batman. It's like, oh, he's got no bombs because he didn't buy any when he left Kakariko originally. He's going to opt to skip Old Man Darkroom at the beginning. So is Gonzspor.
Yep. I mean, that's also perfectly fine. I mean, for Dynasty, I think especially knowing where the Moon Pearl is, I might want to sort of avoid any logic breaks at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. They might also not be completely comfortable with traversing the dark room without a sword.
Yeah, that is a particularly annoying little thing. You can use the hammer to kind of see where you're going. You can use the hook shot a bit. It's not an impossible situation, but it's not something that everybody wants to do.
Yeah, not at all. I know my favorite as far as that, if I have Samaria, just lay a Samaria block, pick it up, and start walking with it.
Here's our Dark World map check. It looks like we had a Crystal 6 at Turtle Rock. I saw pendants at Pod and Ice Palace, and I did not see where 5 was.
Yeah, I missed 5 as well. I caught everything else. I'm sure somebody in chat ended up catching that.
So Dynasty knows that the Pearl is on Desert Ledge. Gonzspor does not know that the Pearl is on Desert Ledge.
Alright, so don't need to go to the basement of Hera, because we got the big key.
There's the Cane of Brian, which puts Spike Cave in logic. Once you get the Moon Pearl.
Nothing in Paradox Cave, though.
Yep. Big chunk of change in case we want to go see Zora, but nothing particularly relevant.
Yeah, still a little short on rupees, needs 40 more, but not too hard to get.
I imagine we will see a Spiral Cave check soon, but Dynasty may elect to go to Hera first.
Alright, well, there's our second item from Hera, so nothing in Hera either except that Cane of Burna.
Mm-hmm. So Dynasty has taken a bit of damage on the way up here, but has managed to get into Tower of Hera just fine.
Yeah, at least got into it and didn't take the death somewhere else. And
So
we
at
are
this
going to see
point-
hammer strats.
At this point, you have to imagine that the access to the desert ledge is somewhere over in the Eastern Palace area. Or potentially at Zora.
Yeah, that's all we have left right now, unless we find something else that just leads us elsewhere.
And I mean, having the bow just kind of makes me want to clear Eastern anyway. But I also like to combine Eastern with Pod, so I can understand being a little disinclined to head that direction. However, there is also still Spiral Cave, which we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, let's see if Dynasty counts the items. Because I noticed Gonzspor actually went and opened the big chest.
Now, let's see. He's not going to hookshot across at the very least. And Gonzspor has to be careful as well. Oh. Gets blocked by the dead rocks. But yeah, Dynasty did count his items properly, so...
Alright, and we'll see what Gonzspor finds in Spiral Cave. Bit of a slow, annoying walk, but what can you do about it? Nothing.
Yep, not a whole lot. He's got to be careful with the mini Moldorms, though, because he does only have one heart.
Dynasty needs to be careful with the big Moldorms.
Yep, or they'll send him tumbling.
Just a big heart in the Spiral Cave. Oh, it's Sank Heart.
Yeah, it was our Sank heart, though. Alright, gets him this time, though.
And we get that crystal number 1. Both runners now on 1 crystal. And we'll follow them through the rest. Gonzspor is now into Paradox Cave. This will be the last thing he checks up here, and then I imagine a play over toward Eastern.
Yeah, and that's interesting, you know, all the value that's up on the mountain, and we didn't find really anything.
I mean, it basically got all moved into Kakariko Village and all that mess, so...
Yeah, that's true. I guess we did find a bunch of rupees in case Zora does have that progression, so you don't have to farm elsewhere.
We do have to abide by the conservation of value principle. And that value can neither be created nor destroyed, just moved around.
I like that saying.
Looks like Gonzspor is making the play over toward Eastern.
And we'll see where Dynasty heads off to. I'm sure it's going to be Eastern as well. Yes, it will be. And in Sahasrala's closet, rupees and a piece of heart.
Alright, so the value's still evading us for the time being.
Yeah, and that means either we have to find an early lamp or progression in the first 2 chests, or Zora has it at that point.
Yeah,
Or first 3 chests, but
so it's likely we'll find a book or a glove. The less likely but possible situation is we find lamp, sword, cape.
yeah, or lamp, sword.
Yeah, which would be the worst.
Yeah, that really would be the worst.
Like lamp, sword, boots, because we know where another sword is. Just the big key in the first chest.
Yep, so we've got access to 3 more locations right now.
Now, I'm guessing maybe our runners will be okay trying to get to Armos without the lamp, but possibly not.
Yeah, we'll see, because they did skip, both of them skipped Old Man and didn't even go back for him. We have a shield for our first item.
Right, so Gonzspor now heading into everybody's favorite Stolfos room. It's a nice little trick you can use.
There's a compass, so we have to find progression in this big chest, or it's on Zora.
That does seem correct, unless I'm forgetting something. How about flippers?
Oh, we're going to Zora.
I mean, that's technically progression,
Yeah, it is.
but we're still going to Zora.
I heard you want progression, but you want to avoid Zora's area. Here's the flippers. You're going there anyways.
Yeah. So, let me just throw this particular piece of work out there. We have the flippers, we have the hammer, we have the mirror, and we have the hook shot. Gross.
Yeah. That's... And we already have the mirror. I mean, Swamp, when we get to the Dark World, is immediately open.
Alright, so there is the map, meaning the last item in Eastern is on Armos. I was about to say it was on Bombos. I don't know. I don't think those things are called the Bombos Knights.
I mean, we could rename them if they find Bombos on there.
Alright, so Gonzspor is going to go for the Darkroom strats. And we don't have a sword, so this is going to be a little trickier.
Oh, Dynasty just... Oh, looks like he got it, though.
Oh, Gonzspor just nailed it. Now, we know it's not Pendant Swamp. Oh. So he gets the key, but the true final boss of that room, the pot with the magic underneath it, kind of trolled him.
Yeah, and it was also the Igor was kind of getting him, too. We'll see. Nope, he's not going to go back in. Looks like Dynasty got his key with no problem either. We'll see if he can make it through.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No problem at all. Looks like we will be seeing an Armos kill soon. Alright, so we can see what the hobo has for us. We can also check the not floating island, but the just plain island.
So now I wonder if Hobo has either mitts or if Hobo has the book. Dynasty might just elect to go right to Desert at that point, and Gonzspor might just go check because he's not aware of the Moon Pearl's location yet.
That is true.
So there might still be progression, but we've got a heart instead.
All right, so we'll have the Waterfall Cave, we'll have Zora's Ledge, and we'll have Zora proper. And I think the money will not be an issue.
No, not whatsoever.
Dynasty taking care of Armos pretty quick, just a big 20, but that takes care of that item, and a second crystal for Dynasty. A heart container and a +5 bomb upgrade in the Waterfall Cave, meaning the progression likely lies somewhere in Zora's domain.
Yep, 2 locations. Is it going to be on the ledge or is it going to be Zora?
How about the ledge?
Yeah, the ledge.
I mean, it's not like you're not going to check Zora while you're here. But as soon as he throws out whatever his garbage is, you're turning right around and going to get those gloves.
Well, who knows? Zora might surprise us. Or not.
Nope. Garbage it is. So Gonzspor has the glove and is now, I imagine, the only thing that this really unlocks is 6.
Yeah, he'll go to the desert area anyways, I believe, because he hasn't even been there to check out Agnes Cave. So he'll check the ledge and see Moon Pearl and probably just immediately go for it.
There's a chance he goes to the Dark World and tries Checkerboard Cave first.
Yeah, that's also an option.
So confirming, as someone said, that Meyer is the other 5/6 crystal.
And Quake was our necessary medallion.
Gonzspor is trying to do a Super Bunny glitch here with damage boosting. It's not really paying off, but Gonzspor is going to be very happy to see this.
Like, oh, I didn't need to do that. Okay.
Meanwhile, Dynasty is going to know exactly where to go. Just a pair of big 20s inside the Meyer shed, so nothing good there.
Yep, and we know Dynasty's gonna make a beeline right for that pearl now. And would you dip in a desert while you're here? With no fire source and no boots?
I mean, just for the information, probably. Just to see if it's boot locked or whatever.
Yes, it is green pendant, so it's not a crystal this time.
The fact that it's green pendant actually makes me more inclined to go in. Because this might be the only time I have to go in.
Yeah, I guess I would dip it too, because if it is boot locked, you're going to know it right away. It doesn't take that long to check.
And that's what Dynasty is doing.
He will dive it.
Now, we did find the blue mail over in Checkerboard Cave, which is going to make things a lot easier on our runners from here on out. I imagine Dynasty will be picking that up at some point. Getting a little trolled by the little antlion guy there.
Yeah, and it is a bootlock dungeon because there was the small key on the torch.
Though if we see the big key here, it might not be like necessarily bootlocked, just logically bootlocked.
Yep. Which there's that small chance, but we'll need a fire source that both items are accessible right now. But we're getting our hype cave check.
Just a compass on the big chest of desert.
Piece of heart, 50 rupees, 10 arrows, 20 rupees, and 100 rupees.
Hype cave, decidedly less than hype today, but I mean, all the hype again moved over to Kakariko Village.
Yeah, I don't blame Hype Cave at all. It's like, I want to be hyped today, and Kakariko just kind of told it to go sit in the corner.
Not only do we have conservation of value, but we also have conservation of hype. Only so much hype in the universe. It looks like Dynasty did not even go check Checkerboard Cave.
No, he did not.
That is quite interesting.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be careful to half a heart.
Just a piece of heart in good old Haunted Grove Cave, or Cave 45, as some people have taken to calling it.
Yeah, and I don't blame Gonzspor for grabbing that heart piece at all. You're still on your first row of hearts, so... Stumpy with just 10 arrows.
Oof!
Oh.
Dynasty takes a little bit of a beating, so we'll see where he heads next. Alright, so digging game time for Gonzspor. Gonzspor is making a hat, and no longer made a hat. There's Bombos.
So that opens up Ice Palace.
Oh, you're right. Oh my goodness. Like, it's 100% completable.
Yes, it is.
You've got Hammer, you've got Hookshot, you've got Bombos, you've got Cane of Samaria. Anything that could be incidentally required for Ice Palace is now in your hands.
Yeah, and you don't have a sword going in there either.
Gross. Hammer only cold stare. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna nope right out of that one. Yeah, so far runners have plenty of weapons, just no swords yet. And there's our first bottle, actually.
Very interesting. So I imagine we may see a check of good old Sick Kid here in a second. Oh yeah, they have to have a sword to use Bombos.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
I forgot.
Okay, it's not quite open. It's closed. Shieldsmiths.
Anybody smelling a little laser bridge coming off of this seed?
I mean, the seed could be really mean and do like a fetch quest for the fire rod on Turtle Rock Laser Bridge.
Another heart container in the sea house. Gonzspor's about to check the Sick Kid, I imagine. Yep.
Let's see what he has. Oh,
Red mail. All right, I think Dynasty will at least pick up that one. And Gonzspor going to open up Thieves Town. Not going to head inside just yet. We've got a chest game to check. But I imagine directly after this we may see a dive into Thieves Town. It is a required dungeon, and of course, everything that you need to complete it is in your hands. And this time, I'm actually right.
Yeah, but and I mean, you've got plenty of help on blind as well. If you don't want to fight him with hammer.
I mean, you've got both canes, and both of those make a nice strat for killing blind.
Yeah, and if they're worried about magic, they got the green potion they just picked up too, so.
So far, though, we've got the small key and just 5 rupees, so we're down by 1 item and still don't have quite what we're looking for.
Yeah, no, so far Dark World's been kind of dry as far as its progression.
There's the big key, which we are guaranteed to find in the first 4 chests. And silver arrows. Okay. I can get behind that one.
Yeah, we've got a pretty potent weapon now. The bow and silver arrows before you even see a sword. Well, we've seen a sword before you can even get to a sword.
Yep. At least once we get that Quake medallion, it'll make Vitreous like a joke.
And we'll see if the runners decide for that, because we saw them both attempt the Eastern Palace Dark Room, but they skipped the Old Man Dark Room. So we'll see if we don't have a lamp yet, if they decide to dive into Misery Mire and do it in the dark. If they have a fire rod as well, depending where that big key ends up being.
Yeah. If I had to guess where the lamp is, I think it's probably in like Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, that's possible. We do have Dark Death Mountain accessible right now.
Alright, so Gonzspor's heading up to the Thieves Town attic, where we can practice our demolition. And I guess our remodeling skills. We're putting in a sunroof, is that what's happening?
Yeah. A multi-leveled sunroof as well. You can get to it on the roof or on the first floor.
And the extra mail was in Checkerboard Cave, over to the northeast of Desert.
Danny's having a little bit of trouble with the Hellway.
Gonzspor will now be heading over to the Maiden. I imagine no matter which way this falls, we're probably going into the big chest, and now we're definitely going in there because there's definitely an item.
Yes, I think we've only found 2.
Yep, and we found both the map and compass and the big key and the small key, so yeah. Either way you count it, there's one left here, and it's another big heart. We are certainly not, low on those today.
No, not at all.
Certainly beats the alternative, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I'm wondering at this point, are they hoping to find a sword? Because maybe you just don't want to find a sword right now.
Alright, so it's blind time. Looks like Gonzspor is going to employ Cane of Samaria strats. Now, he is kind of low on magic.
Yeah, it has the green potion.
There's the second half of blind, or the second phase of blind down. 3 more hits and it will hit the ground. There we go.
Yep, down goes blind.
Blind just has 50 rupees, so Thieves Town not really paying out in terms of progression.
No, needed to clear it, but progression, other than those silver arrows, that's the only nice thing that was in here. Dynasty going with hammer strats.
Yeah. If you can do it, it's going to be significantly faster than Cane of Samaria strats. I feel like I would have emergency Brian strats on standby, though.
Yeah, if I would get down to with blue mail down to 1 heart, just immediately pull Brian out and finish it. Yep, which that's what he's opting to do.
There's the emergency Brian strats, and Dynasty0 takes down blind as well. No problem here. Looks like Gonzspor maybe having a think.
Yeah, just because right now we've got, let's see. Skullwoods is, we've got the first half of Skullwoods open. Graveyard Ledge hasn't been checked yet.
Catfish, Pod.
Catfish Pod, Pyramid, Swamp. Swamp is open.
Yeah. Swamp has been open since they set foot in the Dark World.
Yes, it has.
And it's the grossest swamp I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
You just got all those things to go in. It's like the seed is just daring you to try swamp.
And I think just depending on how you are with your dark rooms, it's just like if you're comfortable with dark rooms, maybe dive Pod instead. If you're not so comfortable, there's also Dark Death Mountain.
Alright, so Gonzspor is actually heading over toward Dark Death Mountain, it looks like. While Dynasty is making the play on Skull Woods.
Yeah, which, technically this is going to give him the most items, because with Spike Cave, which is also in Logic, there's 7 up here. Plus he'll get Knowledge of Turtle Rock Medallion.
There's the best item in the game, so I think Dynasty made the right decision here, regardless of whether he made the right decision.
Yeah, not going to complain about Powder, and it does open up the Magic Bat.
Was that both items in Skullwoods? I didn't see what the first chest was.
I'm not sure. Alright, we've got the book in Super Bunny Cave. And Trekker confirming that we did find both items in Skullwoods. and Ether was our required medallion for Turtle Rock.
Alright, so 2 different medallions, both of which we do not have. Another big heart over on Graveyard Ledge, and nothing of value in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, and we had a big heart in Hookshot Cave as well, so getting health everywhere. Yeah, and I guess at this point, I was gonna say maybe he'll at least check Ether Tablet. Can't get it, but you can see if there's something on it at the very least.
So the book was Super Bunny Cave?
Yes, book was in Super Bunny Cave. And we're getting our magic bat check as well.
Arrow!
And Spike Cave had a fairy in a bottle.
And Dynasty, unless I am mistaken, it looks like Dynasty might be doing the swamp play.
Looks like they both might be making that play.
My God.
Yeah, I saw the question in chat, and you know, chat's already answered. But yeah, as far as the objective, it is just to kill Ganon. So we just need whatever it takes to get to Ganon. You do not necessarily need all the items to clear the game.
All right, let's see what sort of value Swamp has for us. Whoa, Gonzspor hit the flute. He's
Want
gonna,
some potions, I guess. Which I guess is a little interesting on his side, because he does have a safety with the fairy in the bottle right now.
All right, so that first chest guaranteed to be a small key. I mean, here's the thing. I may not like the swamp play in general, but at this point it probably is the right play. It just makes me feel bad.
Yeah, because outside of this, really all they have is checking Pyramid, Catfish, or going independent pod. This is a crystal dungeon that's completable. Pendant Ice is not currently accessible. We still need a sword.
Yep.
Yeah, we are 55 minutes in without a sword. We have seen a sword. It's in the library, but we need boots. And I just thought about that. This seed would be terrible if it forced them to do that. The only progression they have access to right now is boots. And that sword's required to go in Ice Palace.
That would be kind of garbage. I actually imagine there are plenty of libraries that have a sword in them. Because a lot of libraries have like some historical storage as well. There are the boots. Right there.
Oh no.
So Dynasty opting to not skip left side, it looks like.
Oh, and I don't blame him. We're still looking for a good amount of items. Still looking for both medallions, which don't believe he's aware of Turtle Rock at this point, but both medallions and at least 2 swords right now. And then if you're not comfortable with the dark rooms that you have to go through, still looking for a lamp.
Yeah, and I think this is probably correct. Mainly because, I think Hookshot, Flipper's, Mirror, and Hammer were all in the same sphere, basically.
Yeah, I believe they were.
Well, okay, technically Flippers were behind Eastern Palace Big Key, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They were basically the same thing. Oh boy, menu boss.
Yeah, with no sword, we're gonna have to see a menu boss. There's no getting around it.
Well, you could leave and go get the sword and come back. I mean, you don't want to, but you could.
Yeah, and even then it's still fighter sword. That's still lots of spins.
There's the big key in its vanilla spot.
If we didn't see that sword on library, could make the joke that maybe they messed up and made it a swordless seed.
Yeah. Hey, there's the lamp as well.
Probably happy to see that.
At this point, I think it's reasonably certain that, not skipping swamp would have been a good idea for this seed, and even left side swamp, because that lamp was behind the big key on left side.
Yeah, and that puts Pod completely into logic as well, so I expect that's going to be the next play, considering where they're going to be after completing this dungeon.
They ought to at least go rescue the old man. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I think at least the old man rescue is a little bit more lucrative for Dynasty, because he didn't do Dark Death Mountain yet, whereas Gonzspor would be going up there for just that, and then if he remembers, you check Ether Tablet, but probably not going to go check Ether Tablet. At that point, just wait until you have a Master Sword.
I think there's one item left for Argus.
Yeah, I believe he does have one left.
So now we start the turn-based battle versus Argus here.
And it's even worse because you have every item that's in the way too. Nothing missing to where you might be able to skip just a little bit.
Yep, gotta go the whole 3 every time. It's just kind of annoying. Now, I think there's a way to hook 2 at a time and hit them both with the hammer if you're really comfortable with it. Just kind of reduces the amount of menuing time.
Yep, just a little bit.
And there we go. Dynasty's gonna get those silver arrows ready. Nailed it.
Yep, put a quick one right into his eye. And gets 10 arrows in return.
Well, I mean, 10 for 1, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I guess if I'm the runners at this point, I would almost be tempted to go to the library and just pick that sword up at this point.
I mean, yeah. Just gonna mirror and just start running. Flute into 3 also works.
Yep, and that's probably where he's going. So it only took us a little over an hour to get a first sword.
Yeah, that's all. At this rate, we'll have the butter sword by tomorrow. Depending on what time zone you're in.
And so where is Dynasty going now then? Back to Skull Woods?
Maybe? I think he's about to check, like, King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks.
Oh yeah, that's right. He can do that. Like,
So
wait,
I
he went to
think
Skull
he's
Woods and
done-
we found both.
Yeah, and I think he's done Graveyard Ledge, though, so... Oh, maybe he's doing... No, he did Magic Bat.
Purple chest.
Yeah, Purple Chest.
Oh, potentially maybe thinking about desert as well? Since he'll be in the area?
Yeah, that is a possibility.
But I guess he'd have to flute anyways. He doesn't have the book like Gonzspor does.
I think Gonspor's probably gonna do, like, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, and Bonk Rocks at the same time. As well as potentially a check on Skull Woods.
Dynasty looks like he is making the play back to desert.
Yeah, he might go to Checkerboard Cave this time. Get that red mail.
That's true. Yep, he's at least going to grab the red mail.
But I was told by my uncle that it's for cowards.
Gonzspor is skipping that first chest.
He's just doing it in this order, thinking that he'll have to go to the other chest. And this way he doesn't have to dodge pits coming back, but yeah.
Oh, so he is going to make the play.
Looks like he's actually going to go finish Desert first. See what sort of item we get from Landmo.
Yeah, if we get an item at all.
Yeah, both the items could be over on the right-hand side of Desert. Man, who just leaves 45 bucks lying around?
And I guess Dynasty's route through desert does make sense, because if there is an item on Landmolus, then you find an item in the first area of the right side, then you can just mirror out at that point instead of having to check everything. And you're going to kill Landmolus anyways due to it being green pendant.
Yeah, that's entirely reasonable. Now, if, say, the Fire Rod is here on Landmolas or in the green pendant, then we know for sure that that left side swamp play was absolutely required, not just logically required.
Yeah.
All right, Dynasty finishing off Landmo. It's just the map, so both items are inside the right-hand side of desert.
Yes, they are. So you got to think after this, if you don't find anything in desert, you're heading over to the pod area.
That's entirely possible. Part of me might go to Ice Palace, just because I know my opponent won't want to go to Ice Palace.
Yeah, that is true if you want to, I guess, play the meta. Gonna get a check on the bonk rocks. So bonk rocks having the 10 bomb drop and 20 rupees in desert for first item.
Fire rod!
And fire.
Now, that did not require going to left side of swamp.
Nope, not whatsoever.
It required going into swamp.
Yeah, and he's probably making the most logical play right now. You can clear Skull Woods. You found both items already, so get it out of the way. But you also have... Oh, wait, he doesn't have the book, though. That's the one thing. He can't check it with his pedestal.
Well, the one issue with trying to go to Turtle Rock is we need that ether medallion.
Yeah, still need ether. So yeah, at this point, we're looking at potentially a seed that could either be a sword for go mode or a medallion for go mode now.
Yeah, we have... Yeah, just... I mean, those are the only things we're missing, right?
Yeah, we've got everything else. Need both medallions for the dungeons, and we need at least Master Sword to kill Ganon.
Sometimes wish I was Irish so I could have a last name that was Kill Ganon.
Alright, but Gonzspor is making the play on Catfish. Just has some bombs.
Dang, that is the most productive fighter sword spin I've seen in my life. Doing some fighter sword slashes here. It actually takes 16 fighter sword slashes to take down Mothula, and they all have to connect. The spins go to 8, and that's also true with fire rod shots, so we can sort of intersperse the different methods of damaging Mothula here to get the optimal death factor. Now, one thing for Dynasty0 is if you're going to take damage on Moth with red mail, you want to take it from Moth itself and not from the spikes, because Moth will only deal half a heart and the spikes will deal 1. But there we go, Moth goes down. That is now the 5th crystal. what Dynasty has managed to get a hold of.
Gonzspor at least going to get his 4 because he's going to go in here, finish off Eastern, and then I'm guessing dive into Pod.
He's already got the small key, and he can see in the dark now. It looks like Dynasty is going to go ahead and turn in the green pendant. Well, okay, he's going to go to the dark world so he can be in Pod. He might mirror in front of Sahasrah's hut to turn in the green pendant.
So since chat likes to be evil, and they like to be as trolly as they can, let's see what they think. Where are the worst place for the medallions to be right now?
So my answer to that is on the tablets with a sword on pedestal and the other 2 in Ganon's tower.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Exactly that. I would actually feel sorry for the runners if that's what happened.
Yeah, I'd basically have to issue a public apology. So, Dynasty is now heading into Pod. This is new information.
Yep, never before seen.
First piece of information, not bow locked immediately. Not that the bow was ever going to be a problem for this seed.
Oh, and our tracker actually one-upped us on the evil factor. He put mushroom on the pedestal. Sword is at the witch, and tablets have the medallions.
Alright, so there is a piece of heart in the bridge chest. That's one of the 5 items gone to waste. Another small key. Looks like Dynasty will now be heading over to the bow lock section. Whereas Gonzspor is going to head there right away after dealing with the left side. Over here in the map chest is the map. And another small key there. Based on that, we can also tell that there is definitely a small key in the big key chest.
Yeah, there would be.
So there has to be 4 in these first 6. So hopefully Dynasty knows that.
He's going to check it.
Gonzspor, however, is not going to check it.
Gets knocked off the ledge. Makes it past those blue pillars just in time, though, before the bomb went off.
Very nice timing. Small key in the compass chest. Ether medallion.
Ether. Turtle Rock is open.
Turtle Rock is a go. Personally, I'd like to see Quake if I were these runners. That way I could take care of Meyer before doing Turtle Rock and then deal with Turtle Rock on the way up to GT. But, I mean, you do what you do.
Yeah, and Dynasty will be able to just go to it and he'll be able to clear it, but Gonzspor is still looking for the Fire Rod, which is in Desert Palace.
So some of you may be wondering, why is Gonzspor doing the hammer jump here? And I can tell you exactly why Gonzspor is doing a hammer jump. Because he has 2 small keys. He's going to need to use one on the front door after he mirrors, because he hasn't done that. And then he needs one for the boss. So he's saving them so he doesn't have to go into the other key places. There's the Quake!
There's Quake.
Just 300 rupees in the northwest chest. I imagine Gonzspor's coming up here looking for a sword. Not going to find it.
Yeah, because we are sword away from go mode now.
I believe that is the 5th item. So both players are piecing out.
Yeah, this is going to take, both of them. Dynasty, he's just looking for a sword. Gonzspor still needs his Fire Rod, but this is going to put Gonzspor in the right area if he goes to check Desert once he's finished with Meyer.
Very true.
And at this point, the pedestal is dead.
I mean, unless it's a sword and the other 2 are in GT.
No, because they would have access to GT.
Oh yeah, they can
right
get
now.
to GT. What am I talking about?
I guess the only way, actually no, the only way it would be a pedestal seat at this point is both swords, or 2 swords would have to be on tablets and the 3rd on the pedestal.
Okay, yeah,
That
there
is
we go.
the only physical way for this to be a pedestal seat.
And that is super unlikely. I mean, at a baseline, you're looking at a 1 in, like, roughly 6 to the 9th situation. And that's not even taking the logic into account.
Yeah.
The logic would just make it worse.
I mean, I really don't think it'll be that long for him to dive into a pendant dungeon because he doesn't really have that much available to him. He could go to Turtle Rock if he wanted to try and hope that the Fire Rod's there. And then depending on how keys are situated, he won't be able to go very far.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Gonzspor here and you finish up Meyer and you haven't found the Fire Rod, you probably just mirror and go to Desert for a bit, see if it's there. And that's going to pay off pretty well.
Yeah. And as far as I know, I don't see it on the tracker, but I'm pretty sure he did clear Armos while he was over there in the pod area.
Yeah, I believe so. There's a bug net.
Which is our first item.
That seems like a net gain. Anyway, so Dynasty's going to pick up that net here in a second, and we'll see if we can find that big key at some point. Dynasty's trying to avoid the cutscene room if at all possible.
Yep, that's going to be the last place he checks, it looks like. Just a map.
Good call. No cutscene room today. Now, I imagine Dynasty might go looking for the second item here, but maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like he's, which is interesting because there's still a, I guess he might just be gambling Vitreous has it.
Yeah, that is a possibility. And you know, there are still 3 of the thing you're looking for out there. And you've yet to see anything, any indications of where they might be.
Yeah, and there's a good chance, you know, you'll find it in Turtle Rock with one of the last locations and pretty much everything being checked overworld-wise. And if you don't find it there, then there's a high likelihood you'll find at least one in Ganon's Tower.
And once again, Dynasty making the call that puts him ahead. Vitreous does have the last item. Alright, so I imagine that Vitreous fight will be basically, you know, trivial at this point. The whole silver arrows going directly to eyeballs situation.
Yeah, which you're probably very appreciative of having with a fighter's sword as your other normal weapon for Vitreous.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that, we might be seeing bomb strats.
Yeah, that'd probably be the case. Alright, Vitreous, what do we have? Some bombs.
Yep. Nothing doing in the sword department.
So yeah, now for Dynasty, I see him going up, because he hasn't even been up Dark Death Mountain either, so there's the 6 items for him. Just between Super Bunny Cave, Hookshot Cave, which we know he won't find one. But
To be honest, if I'm Dynasty, I'm going into Turtle Rock, and I'm checking that first, and if I don't find anything in there, then I'm going to Super Bunny and Hookshot.
yeah, that's true.
Gonzspor did mirror. Is he going to check Desert? Well, I think so, but perhaps he's going in from the left side. I think he decided he didn't want to start from there.
Yep, he is going to be going in Desert, so this is what he needs to do.
And ideally, he needs to go directly to the right-hand side, which will make things much more amenable to the situation here. All right, Dynasty now opening Turtle Rock. Plenty of things to find in here, but Dynasty is going to go check the caves next door. That does make sense in some other sense if you are not particularly happy with, say, Hammer Trinex.
Gonzspor gets his Fire Rod, immediately mirrors.
So I imagine Gonzspor will be pulling out a Skull Woods check followed by a Turtle Rock play. Now, Gonzspor has the rare and otherwise unknown opportunity to check that pedestal.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting. Do you check it? Because all you need at this point is a sword. And even if it says sword, if you're thinking, paying attention to it, knowing I pretty much have access to everywhere in the game at this point, except the tablet locations.
Yeah, it would be pretty silly to check it in my opinion, but I'm not great at this game. So there you go. And Dynasty now heading inside Turtle Rock. 5 items in the dungeon proper, plus 1 bonus item in Mimic Cave. I imagine we'll see a sword at some point.
Yeah, if not, the likelihood of there being in Ganon's Tower then is very high.
Okay, go with me on this journey. All 3 swords in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that is a possibility. Not one that
It's a
the
short
runners
journey.
probably want to think about, but
Now, Gonzspor has a little bit of an unfortunate situation with being basically out of magic coming down to this fighter sword moth fight.
yes, I believe he might have bought potions though.
I think he bought a blue at one point. I don't know if he used it. Alright, so there's an item in Turtle Rock. It's the Big Love situation. We found 2 small keys in the first 2 chests, which you will find 2 small keys at some point before the end of the Chain Chomp room. So the Chain Chomp room will hold either the big key or not the big key. I guess that's like the worst thing, least insightful thing to say, but it's likely to contain the big key, and if it doesn't, the next chest will.
Yeah, but Gonzspor takes down. Mothula gets his 6th crystal.
Yep, and there's the big key in the Chain Chomp chest. So, if you're Dynasty 0, do you check the big key chest?
Yes.
I agree.
You still need a sword. And yeah, and because if you steal a key from the Poke, you're basically hoping for a laser bridge skip at that point. But you're not in go mode yet. You still need a sword at this point. And yes, you could gamble Ganon's Tower has a sword. But all 3 swords could be here. They could be in Ice Palace. They could be located any which way to where you just don't see the sword in Ganon's Tower either. Yes, chance is high. But if that's a gamble you make and it doesn't pay off, that could very well lose you the race.
All right, Dynasty is going to grab this key and use it, making plenty of sense. Just a burrito in the big key chest, so we will be moving on to the back. I imagine a Mimic Cave check might be in our future.
Yep, Mimic Cave will be our next check.
Followed by the big chest and the crystal roller room. And then basically the most trivial laser bridge in existence.
Yep, we've got that mirror shield that we've had since before we even had a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Those dead rocks are not wanting Gonzspor to get past.
I'm pretty sure that, in my opinion, that dead rocks can go jump off a bridge, and wouldn't you know it, there's a convenient one for them to do it just nearby.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 bridges too.
There we
There
go. There's
go.
a Master Sword in Mimic Cave.
So now we are officially in go mode.
Indeed. Now, if I'm Dynasty, I don't mind picking up another sword.
Yeah, and avoid having to do Master Sword Ganon? Sure.
But at that point, it's just going to really be sort of a convenience thing. So I don't know if I'd go too far out of my way to look for it.
Really probably depends on how comfortable you are with Master Sword Ganon.
That chest guaranteed to be a small key at that point. So we are going to have to visit the laser bridge. So if you're going to have to visit the laser bridge anyway, do you just go ahead and check looking for the tempered sword?
Yeah, I think I would still check that, because especially if I didn't have Mirror Shield, maybe think about skipping it at that point. But with having Mirror Shield, it doesn't take too long to just check the extra chest, especially unless you find the key first, maybe.
Seems reasonable. Dynasty going to go ahead and pick up some extra magic there. I imagine hoping to not spend too much time on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, not to mention, tempered, if you find it here, or even half magic, would help out a lot against Trinex.
Well, there's the key. Dynasty is going to go ahead and check. We've got bombs. More bombs. And bomb upgrade. Guess you can say the value on that bridge kind of bombed.
Just a little bit.
But it does mean that Dynasty0 will now be going off to Trinex with the Master Sword, which is significantly better than the Fighter Sword, to be fair. Though, I think in either case, you would prefer using the hammer.
Yeah, especially without half magic, because that, depending... Oh, I guess he's got a green potion, so it's not too bad.
So Dynasty's getting the Ice Rod ready. The Ice Rod is generally pulled out first because the fire head becomes vulnerable first. We are switching to hammer strats. Interesting. I thought surely the redhead would be dead by now.
Yeah, I thought it was 6 hits, and that was a 6 hit, was it not?
Well, it's 5 hits, but I think a couple of them came in a little too late.
Okay. Yeah, now there's a lot of ice on this side.
Trinex, why'd you make a mess all over the floor? Didn't anybody ever tell you to teach you to clean up after yourself? Alright, so Gonzspor gets the sword out of Mimic Cave.
Yep, and now Gonzspor is in go mode. Down goes the second head of Trinex.
Alright, so Dynasty can set up a sword spin here. Try to get a couple of them. That looked like a single. And so we've got... Okay, so 4 more slashes would do it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. ₹50 from Trinix. And there's the 7th crystal. We all know what time it is now. It's time for everybody's favorite big key guessing game. So, put your numbers in between 1 and 22 where you think the big key is going to be in Ganon's Tower. If you are a subscriber to one of the speed gaming channels or have donated 250 bits or more, you can be added to our leaderboard. Feel free to play along either way. And of course, we're cutting this off as soon as Dynasty0 kind of enters Ganon's Tower here on our screen. So you've got just a little bit of time to get in.
Yep, get your guesses in quick.
All right, Dynasty is actually going left first. And the first chest, or the torch, is the map. How is that map not caught on fire?
Fireproof paper.
Okay. Into the Stolfos room. Chest number 1, or number 2, is ₹50. Number 3, that is a compass. Number 4, a small key. And number 5, bombs. Bomb upgrade.
So this is interesting that he's going left side first, because if Gonzspor decides to go right, key's on the right, that will catch him up considerably, if not put him in the lead.
Another small key in the chest.
Yep, that'd be
The
chest
map
6.
chest number 6. That is actually a location that was where it was possible to get a small key only recently.
Oh, Gonzspor is out of magic.
Ooh, that's gonna be unfortunate. I mean, I thought he bought a bunch of blue potions, but...
Yeah, he actually used one going through Turtle Rock, because he ran out of magic getting to the Dark Room. So he had to use it to get all of his magic back so he could summon the block of Samaria.
Gross. Oh, Gonzspor. Oh, you're killing me. Oh, I guess he's just gonna do the little trick. You can get back to that portal. So that was chest number 7. Moving on to 8, 9, 10, and 11 here in Rando Room. There's another bottle with a blue potion and 300 rupees. Rando Room is a bust.
Comes down to ice almost then in Bob's chest on the left side.
All right, over to Bob's chest. What do we have? Hello, Bob. How you doing? 300 rupees? I mean, we're basically past rupees at this point. We've sort of moved on from... moved on as a society.
It's Link's retirement fund.
Oh, I thought Gonzspor actually kept the portal where it was accessible, but it looks like it's going in the front door.
Yeah, he's gonna have to run all the way through Turtle Rock again now.
There's chest number 13, 14, 15. There's the magic cape, which, to be fair, is, pretty useful for the Ganon fight. We come over here to the right-hand side. See, if you'd have gone here, I would have won. It's number 16.
Yeah, not only that, it was the God GT as well, because immediately with the small key, too.
Best.
And at this point, he might feel maybe like he's behind a little bit, or the gamble that he made just was a poor decision. And now that he's got a rush, that maybe Gonzspor is ahead of him, because if he would have went right side early, got the God GT, and Dynasty just spent all that time.
Alright, Dynasty now heading into the back, or into the gauntlet. Have to deal with this room real quick. The spikes can cause you a little bit of grief if you don't time it just right.
Yeah. But yeah, Chad pointed this out. If Gonzspor would not have run out of magic on that Trinex fight and would have went right side first, this race would be very close.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't completely count out Gonzspor yet. There is always the random possibility that something could happen.
Yeah, and even, he had to go back and he got those potions and everything for this Trinex fight. He's still not going to be that far behind if he goes right side immediately.
Mm-hmm. Gonzspor is electing now to use Master Sword slashes on the heads, which is an interesting strategy.
Alright, well, one head is down.
So the Master Sword slashes will take 10 total hits per head. Now the blue head may give you a little bit of a discount because the fire rod actually takes care of it a little bit.
Yeah, but Trinex is almost down for him. And it looks like he did get a double on the spin.
Yeah, very nice. So that means only 6 slashes, and that will take care of Trinex from here.
Yep, down goes Trinex.
Dynasty gets the 2 cycle on the second Wizrobe room, which is a perfectly fine way of cleaning it up. So, I thought I might make a Zelda Link to the Past hack, where it's just a bunch of rooms where you have a bunch of enemies that you got to kill, and it's kind of randomized, and you do it try to get as far as you can. And I would call it Infinity Gauntlet.
I see what you did there.
Anyway, so Dynasty is now heading through the last portion. I expect him to check all these chests, honestly, because the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword is night and day in the Ganon fight. And I think it's I think the time spent checking these chests is not even close to what you would save if you picked up the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, and Gonzspor did check right side, so he's got his key already.
He's heading... Well, he's going to go ahead and go left a bit. I think he might be looking for the Tempered Sword, and at the very least, he can grab this first key to sort of speed it up so he doesn't have to kill the Helmosaurs up top.
That's actually all he was doing.
I think at the very least he was using that as an opportunity to check the torch as well, and that's about it. Alright, so Gonzspor entering the gauntlet as Dynasty finishes the tower climb and heads into Agate 2.
Yeah, and I really think if Gonzspor didn't run out of magic, he would actually be in the lead. Because that made up a lot of time. I think Aga needs one more. Yep, down he goes.
And it's time to enter the Ganon fight. This will be a Master Sword Ganon fight. Nobody likes it, but you're gonna do it. So with the Master Sword, you're gonna need 12 spin hits per phase on the first two phases to take down Ganon. The remaining portion you'll need spin hits, but it will not be nearly as many.
Oh no, Gonzspor took a death on his way up the gauntlet.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, he actually released his fairy so that he could buy an additional potion.
Yes, he did.
Alright, so Dynasty is now into the second phase of Ganon. Got to get in a few more spins. Looks like he may be trying to apply some cape strats here. That will not be something that Gonzspor has access to.
Nope, he will have no cape.
In the words of Edna Mode, no capes. And we've made it to phase 3.
Yep, he is gonna have to use that blue potion now. He's gonna risk taking another death.
We did find the arrows in Thieves Town, Ganon. Thank you very much. Torch glitch acquired, no problem there. Gonna apply one silver arrow. Alright, not quite with the double there, but Dynasty still has 2 more to go. That's 1 and 2. Ganon goes down. A very nice time considering the awfulness this seed made them do.
Yeah, definitely. Fighter sword for pretty much the entire one, and you didn't get that until an hour in. And who knows where those other swords were.
So the official time for Dynasty 0 is 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 55 seconds. Bring out your GGs, everybody.
And I'm sorry, but the ending message was not accurate. B-Torp was not here. We had no bees in bottles.
Well, Dynasty, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You made it through alive. That was quite the interesting little seed there.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun seed.
Yeah, I think so. So your opponent, your opponent actually went right side GT first and found that key. But the problem is they actually ran out of magic on Trinex, and so had to go get more. And that actually caused them to fall behind by a fairly significant margin. They are currently in the second torch room, right before the mini Helmosaurs.
Oh man, it's that's the thing I was worried about too. Anytime I have to go inside Turok and I'm only on Master Sword and no half magic, I'm always worried there.
So you're neither player has found a tempered sword, so we have no idea where the remaining ones are.
Yeah, it was for that aspect. The seed did not want to give us a sword. Like, we knew where the first sword was forever because it was in library, but we spent so much time without finding any other swords.
Yep. Having to go into swamp early to get those boots so you can get your first sword. Can't really feel that great.
Yeah, it was the first like 40-50 minutes of the sea was a bit slow because of that. You know, no swords, no boots, despite having the flute kind of early too.
Yep. It was quite, like I said, quite the interesting setup. So you had to do a bunch of bosses with just fighter sword. It did help that it was possible to say, have the bow and silvers for Vitreous, so you didn't have to do fighter sword Vitreous. That sounds like the worst thing.
Oh yeah,
that can happen.
completely. If I had to do fighter sword Vitreous, I would not have gone there this early. I would have searched until I found another sword.
Alright, Gonzspor just took down Moldorm 2 after a couple of falls. I'd be willing to bet there's at least one sword on a tablet.
Very possible. When I found that book inside of Paradox Cave, I was like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not sidetracking anymore.
Yeah, that does make sense.
At least I found the cape in GT, which really helped a bit with Ganon there at the end.
Yep. And Pedestal wasn't a sword either, so,
So yeah, it would be 4 chests in GT plus big chest.
Also Ice Palace.
Ice Palace, Fat Fairy, tablets.
Yep, that's about what's left. And Gonzspor has now finished off Aga 2. We'll be heading to the Ganon fight shortly. So yeah, it was still pretty close race, despite how, the mishaps on Gonspor's end at the thing at the end. If it hadn't been for that magic mishap for Trinex, this would have been a much, much closer race.
Yeah, from what I can hear, that would have been yeah, very close, like a minute or two apart max.
Yeah, the only other thing that happened where he lost time late is he did take a death up the gauntlet his first try.
Yeah, kind of happy I picked up that red mail. Took a couple of seconds more, but it makes the gauntlet a lot easier.
So you knew that the Moon Pearl was on the ledge long before your opponent did. I believe the first time he found out about it was when he mirrored to check out Desert and was like, "Oh, let's go look at the thing." Oh, okay, there it is. But yeah, the path to Dark World access for this seed was kind of convoluted.
Yeah, it was a lot. When I saw that moon pearl there, I kind of told myself, okay, so I really need to find either the myths or the book really fast. And I know they have to be somewhat close because, you know, moon pearl is kind of important to finish the seed.
So it looks like Gonzspor is going to go, ferry up here. Or not ferry up, but potion up before giving the Ganon fight another try.
Gotta say, this wasn't my best execution overall. All over the place. I kind of hesitated a bit here and there, but still won, so it's not that bad, I think.
Yeah, certainly not bad. Hey, 3 and 2, you're still in this thing.
Yeah, I'm impressed with myself. It's the third win in the row now.
Oh wow, so you're coming back from the O2 bracket to challenge for the final slot?
Yeah, it looks like I needed a bit of practice to kind of adjust how I want to route stuff properly, and now I'm doing not bad.
Yeah. Well played. Well played.
Yeah, 166 on collection rate.
All right. So Gonzspor is heading back in here. So do you have any other interesting things you'd like to remark about this seed?
Well, really, this seed was a lot of fun to go through. The breadcrumbing definitely paid off in the beginning, and mid-seed was the search for Fire Rod for me, trying to find that to clear a bunch of dungeons.
Yep. The route you took through Desert was interesting. When you got there the second time, you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go finish, and then go to the right side if necessary. And I don't dislike that play.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if completing land mode could have given me an item and possibly progression, and at the same time, it is a green pendant, so it's not a big time loss if it's nothing.
All right. So Gonzspor is gonna do some dodging of some fire bats. Hopefully, be able to get through phase 2 pretty soon. If only he picked up that cape. Unfortunately, he did not go down the entirety of Ganon's Tower to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, getting the cake kind of helped a bit, but if I knew where that key was, I probably wouldn't have gotten it either.
Oh yeah. So I mean, that was an interesting route you took through there. It's a completely defensible route. There's nothing wrong, inherently wrong with it. It's just it happened to not pay off today.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too because my last race, the big key was on the torch there. So I kind of went, well, what if it happened twice in a row?
Well, there you go. Gonzspor apparently accidentally poked there, didn't get the hit. Couple more hits and we'll be into the final phase. One thing you got to be careful about is do not fall off. Make sure that you are careful. Don't let yourself get hit by fire. And keep yourself on the platform. Alright, there's one hit. Oh, just barely missing. The whole diagonal bounce can really throw you off. That's 2 hits. Three hits, one more, and Ganon will go down. So the problem with Blue Cane is it will protect you from Ganon, but you can't spin attack while you're doing a Blue Cane, and you have to do spins to do Master Sword damage. But there we go. Gonzspor takes down Ganon. Should be walking through the door shortly. There we go with the official time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 41 seconds. Congratulations. All right, we'll see if we can get Gonzspor in here or otherwise. And while we're waiting, I'd like to go ahead and give a couple shout-outs. One to B-, our tracker, who had to step away on account of... well, there he is in the chat. So big shout-outs to B- for taking care of the tracker today. Something that makes our job way easier. In addition, I want to shout out the Speed Gaming Network, where all of your randomizer needs can be met. And then there's more rando on the on the Link to the Past randomizer channels, ALTTP randomizer. Both sets of channels have more rando than you can stando all day, every day, basically. All right, so Gonzspor does not have a mic today, so we will be needing to wrap things up momentarily. This has been an excellent race, and I enjoyed watching it. Dynasty0 and Gonzspor, thank you so much for letting us see your run today, and if you liked what you saw here today, the best way to thank the people involved is to just give them a follow here on Twitch, and everyone here, I'm sure, would appreciate that. And of course, I would like to say thank you to my co-commentator, Sir Linkalot777. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was definitely my pleasure to commentate this seed with you. It was a fun seed to watch and commentate on for sure.
Indeed. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We will probably let the credits play because we've got to see that collection rate, but other than that, I think we can call it a commentary. So with that, I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I've been Sir Linkalot777.
And we'll see you later.